Yes, can. Yes, can. Yes, can. Yes, can. Don't forget to like and
All right, and we don't have a time limit, so.
subscribe. All right.
I can't believe I had 14 gigs of trash on my phone. Am I overreacting? That's what we're going to go into. Am I overreacting? My husband's friend said that I think what I think are inappropriate things to my daughters. My husband, 57-year-old, has been friends with this guy, 58-year-old, since college, and I have never liked the guy. He has cheated on his wife, loudmouth, one-upper type. We bought a cottage, and he and his wife bought one near us. I have not gone up there too much because my dad had a stroke, and I have been helping him with my mom. This is my question. One of my daughters, 19-year-old, has had friends up to the cottage, and while boating, he smacked one of them on the ass, which all of the girls were disgusted with. Very inappropriate. She was wearing a bikini. My second daughter, 24-year-old, was up last weekend, and he said to her, I always knew you would be wild when I saw you riding around on your bike with no underwear.
What
I have
the fuck?
not been present to hear these, but my daughters told me. My husband said he had a talk with him and he won't do it again. I'm horrified and want nothing to do with this jerk. Am I overreacting?
Oh my god, no.
What?
Ew, what the
This
fuck?
sounds like an underreacting.
Yeah. Like,
I am mortified. What?
ew.
He's been friends with
Sexually
them since
harassing
college.
your fucking friends' kids.
Yeah, also friends since college. Okay, so they're almost 60, so they were probably in college like 30 plus years ago. So it was before he had children. So if they're good friends, he has been around these kids for their whole life.
Yeah.
This guy's a predator.
Mm-hmm.
This is disgusting.
Oof. Oh my god.
This is not also okay. What the hell? I think I would have flipped out if someone just like smacked my ass.
Yeah. You would have got punched in the fucking face and it'd have been a whole shit show. Wow. Ew.
I also, you know what though? Like, I wonder, I can't even imagine what they are feeling with the fact that this person has basically been an uncle to them for their entire life and then all of a sudden decided that they were going to be sexualized once they were 19 and 24.
Yeah. Ew. And say, ugh, gross. Fucking disgusting.
Riding the bike.
Yeah, that's where I'm like, ugh. Ew.
Oh, God.
Can't hope it doesn't have any other friends with kids.
Yeah, right? Oh my God. What the? I'm stressing out. Yuck. Just gross. All around gross. Underreacting. You are not overreacting. You are underreacting.
Yeah.
Something needs to be punched. Like his teeth out of his mouth or something, because.
Balls out of his sack.
Gross.
Wow.
Yuck. Let's move on from the grossness. Well, we'll see. Maybe the next one's gross too. Am I the asshole for telling my dad's parents that I don't want them at my graduation when they said I wasn't their real grandson?
Oh.
In November, my 18 male, dad's parents and my mom got into an argument because they mentioned that they decided to start a college fund for my brother, 11 male. It wasn't even brought up, they just had decided to share that information on their own. My mom was confused since they'd mentioned it out of the blue and then thanked them. She asked them why they decided to make one now and why they brought it up. They said something about wanting to do it for their grandson and making sure he's set so he doesn't have to worry about paying for college. My mom then asked if they had started one for me, and they said I wasn't their real grandson, so the answer was no, and they didn't have one for me. They added something about how I'd get something else and accused my mom of expecting too much. For context, my dad adopted me when I was 5. He started dating my mom when I was 2. I don't know my biological father personally, but I do know of him. He died when I was 3, and my mom told me he wasn't a good person and he was in and out of jail. My dad is the only dad I've ever known, and I've always thought his parents accepted me. But hearing them basically say that I wasn't their real grandson hurt. It wasn't even about the money. It was about the fact that I was excluded and realizing the only reason why was because I wasn't my dad's biological son. The argument happened right in front of me and my brother, just a few days before Thanksgiving. Since then,
Nice.
I've viewed my dad's parents differently and tried to keep my distance from them. They eventually apologized for saying I wasn't their real grandson, but only because my dad basically forced them to. Over time, I realized they didn't really care anymore, but I just loved them more than they loved me. School is almost back in, and I take senior pictures soon. My dad's parents were over for Christmas, and my parents brought up me taking pictures. That led to my dad's parents talking about how excited they were to see me graduate and how they couldn't wait. This confused me. It honestly did, because a month ago they basically told me I wasn't their real grandson, and now they're excited to see their grandson graduate. I told them that they weren't coming and I didn't want them there. Of course, this shocked my parents and my dad's parents. They asked why, and I told them I remember them saying that I wasn't their real grandson. So it doesn't make sense for them to come and to want to come to a graduation when they have no ties to me. My dad looked upset, and his parents were too. His parents basically said I should move on since they already apologized and meant no harm. I told them that when they apologized, it was only because my dad told them to. After that, it got awkward. This happened during Christmas, and I haven't seen them since. My dad told me they're hurt by what I said and that I should apologize and let them know I didn't mean it and that I'd still like them to come. I told them I meant what I said and that I don't want them there. It's not like I can stop them from coming anyways, but I'd prefer if they didn't because they have no reason to be there. He says their feelings are hurt.
Their feelings are hurt. Yeah.
It's honestly embarrassing to think that they've been my grandparents for my whole life, only to find out they didn't even think of me as their grandson. My mom says she agrees with me, but she thinks I should consider my dad's feelings because since this puts him in a hard position and wants everyone to be family, I'm not trying to hurt my dad. I just don't want his parents at my graduation I just found out they didn't accept me.
Yeah, go you, bud, for fucking saying it.
Yeah,
Wow.
I find it very interesting that the father is like the fixer, like, hey, you guys need to apologize, say these words. And then also is like, hey, you need to apologize now, say these words. Like, you're doing the same thing for both of this. I don't understand people who think like this. Like, just because they're not biologically related to you, you're just gonna, like, whatever. It's fine. Don't give a shit about you. Like, what do you mean?
Right. Not the only dad I've ever known. Raised the entire freaking life.
I've only been in the family for like 15 years, but whatever.
Yeah. Wow.
And then on top of that, like, to have this conversation in front of them.
In front of them. Yeah.
Is insane. And you know what? It sucks. Your dad's feelings are going to be hurt, but at the same time, like, it's your decision and you're allowed to feel the way that you want to feel. And it's not your dad's fault. It's not your fault. It's his parents' fault. So
yeah. Their take on that. Wow.
Starting a whole ass college fund for one of the kids is insane.
Yeah, like, my heart hurts just to be that kid, to hear that in front of them. Oh, man.
Like, I mean,
that's hurtful.
If you say, like, oh, we started a college fund for your little brother, unfortunately, we weren't able to do it for you because we, like, couldn't afford to do something like that for you, and now, like, you're going to college now. But, like, I could see that being a thing. If that
could have blown
explained,
over a lot easier being
right,
nice
be like,
about
hey,
it.
sorry, we couldn't get you a
but
college
you're not
fund,
my real grandson.
but we got, your brother a college fund because we can afford it now. We only got your brother a college fund because you're not our actual grandson. Like, okay, sorry, I guess I won't come to Easter anymore, Grandma. Like,
Yeah, a few days before Thanksgiving too. It goes all the holidays.
right. Well, that's when all the crazy shit happens. So it's at the holidays. Everybody fucks everything up at the holidays.
It gets wild.
And so my mom says she agrees with me, but thinks I should consider my dad's feelings since this puts him in a hard position and wants everyone to be family. Pretty sure a lesson that you generally learn once you're an adult is that sometimes life is hard.
Yeah, and you gotta deal with it.
Sometimes you have to make hard decisions that are better for your life. And even if it is like, okay, maybe you're just being a little petty. Who cares? Maybe people think being petty isn't okay, but sometimes, fuck you. Sometimes fuck you.
Fuck
so,
you.
yeah, I'm going to be petty. And I'm going to feel good about it. So, I don't know.
Hurtful as fuck.
Yeah, that's just fucking rude as hell. I hate people.
Okay.
This one is short. Am I the asshole for refusing to babysit my nephew because I wanted to play golf?
I don't know.
No, refusing to babysit means you didn't say yes. So, sounds like, I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. You didn't ever say you were going to do it. So it sounds like. So let's find out. I, 40 male, love my family, but I also believe in boundaries. My sister Jess, 32 female, has a 4-year-old son, Ethan, who's a handful to say the least. Last weekend, Jess asked if I could watch Ethan because she desperately needed a break. She's a single mom, so I get it's tough for her, but here's the thing. I had a golf tee time with my buddies that had been planned for weeks. It was at a course we've been dying to play at, and I'd already prepaid. I told Jess I couldn't help this time and suggested she ask her parents or one of her friends. She immediately guilt-tripped me, saying I don't understand how hard it is being a mom and that I should man up and help out. When I didn't back down, she called me selfish and said I clearly didn't care about family. For context, I've babysat Ethan plenty of times before, often on short notice, but I also feel like I'm not her default solution whenever she needs a break. My mom thinks I should have canceled my plans to support Jess, but my dad says I did nothing wrong. You did not do anything wrong. What do you...
Right. The drop on a dime. Wow.
What? I have plans. What do you mean? I have plans.
Because you need a break.
Yeah, right.
Sorry,
what
being
are you
mom
doing?
is fucking tough.
What do you, I mean, maybe he needs a break too, which is why he's going golfing with his friends. I mean, like, what do you, so if he was going on vacation, say he was getting on a plane, are you going to be like, you got to cancel your trip right now. You can't go to the Bahamas.
Yeah, I need a break from my own kid.
I need you to watch my kid for a few hours. You can't leave this country. That sounds really nuts. You wouldn't do that. Like,
Selfish ass people.
If it was like an emergency or something, like, hey, I don't want to have to bring him to the hospital because I need to go to the hospital. Okay, that's a little bit different.
Yeah.
We'll bring him golfing.
I need a break.
No.
Caddy boy.
Really, but, yeah. But, you know, if it's that kind of situation, that's much different. But, like, you openly said that you just need a break.
Yeah. Selfish.
No, but he's selfish because he's going golfing.
His fucking kid.
He's allowed to be selfish. He doesn't have
right.
kids.
Oh,
that's how that works. Last time I checked, I feel like that's how that works. If you don't have kids, you're allowed to be selfish. And then if you do have kids, then you have to be selfless. You have to take care of the kids. I don't know. Just a thought.
Science is there.
Well, I feel like if you're selfish when you have kids, I feel like people look badly at you. But if you're selfish when you don't have kids, people are like, whatever, it's fine.
That's fine.
Whose life are you affecting? I don't know. That's, I guess how I feel. I don't know. Anyways, this isn't an Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for going no contact with my mother-in-law after she convinced my husband to ask for a paternity test because our baby looks too much like me?
What? What?
It's probably her baby.
I mean, it's gotta be her baby. Oh, wow. Looks too much like you. Okay.
Also, I feel like it's more common for babies to come out and like look like one parent rather than both parents.
Yeah.
Your oldest came out looking like both you guys. So.
Yeah, it was like very rare that it was a 50-50. Like,
right. I feel like that doesn't happen super often compared to like they come out looking just like dad, or they come out looking like a mini version of mom, and it's just like
mini of someone.
Yeah, mini of someone, and it's like usually uncanny, and that's kind of weird. But then there's the 50-50 kids. I feel like that doesn't happen often, and I don't know. We'll see. It's kind of wild. Why would asking for a paternity test from your daughter-in-law is wild because you don't believe it's your grandkid. They're probably going to treat them differently. They're not
no college fund for you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. Sorry, this is going to be a long one, and I apologize in advance for any spelling mistakes. English isn't my first language. 4 months ago, me, 31 female, and my husband, Mark, 32 male, welcomed our first child, our daughter, Sophia. Me and Mark have been together for 10 years and married for 6 years. Getting pregnant wasn't exactly a walk in the park. We were trying for 2 years before it finally happened, and I miscarried 4 times during those years. That's rough.
Wow.
My parents died when I was 15, and I lived with my grandparents until I was 18 and started at college. My mother-in-law has been like a mother to me and has been an amazing support ever since me and Mark got together. She's made dinners and called daily to check up on me after the miscarriages. When Sophia was born, the first thing mother-in-law did when she came to visit was check up on how I was doing after the birth before focusing on Sophia. I remember thinking I had the best mother-in-law anyone could ask for. She was the first person we told about our pregnancy at week 18, and she was over the moon about becoming a grandma. The first 4 weeks after we got home from the hospital, she moved in with us to help out with Sophia. She was so helpful and always made sure she didn't overstep in any way. My mother-in-law always talked about how Sophia was a mini version of me and told everyone about how my daughter was a true copy of me. Mark was in love with our little girl and did everything he could to help out. He came home early every day to spend time, as much time as he could with Sophia and me. Everything seemed perfect. This is what I had wanted for so long. All he could do was talk about how perfect our little girl was and how much she looked like me. He even found some old pictures of me and made a photo collage of me and her as babies to put on the wall.
Yeah.
After my mother-in-law moved home, I think I saw her a couple times and would only speak to her if I called her. But to be honest, I didn't think much of it as I was busy being a mother. The first 2 months, Mark started getting more distant and coming home late. He started to spend a lot of time at his mother's house and said that she needed help with some renovations in her house. I appreciated all the help mother-in-law had given to us, so I decided not to complain about it, even though I was exhausted from never getting an hour to myself anymore. Right after Sophia turned 3 months old, Mark came home and said we needed to talk. He sat me down and told me he wanted a paternity test because his mother thinks our child looked too much like me and nothing like him.
It's fucking wild.
Okay. My jaw was on the floor and I felt something inside me break. He doubled down, saying that he agreed with Sophia looking like me and nothing like him, and that mother-in-law had told him I probably cheated with someone who has some of the same features as me.
What the
Mother-in-law claims that their family genes are super strong, and Sophia shouldn't have some of Mark's features should have some of Mark's features if he was his. Well, maybe her genes are stronger.
Got strong genes.
Right.
Oh my god.
After he was done talking, I couldn't get a word out, and I just started crying. It feels like the biggest betrayal that they both accuse me of cheating, and the reason being that my daughter looks too much like me. He told me he was sorry, but his mother got into his head and he couldn't let it go, and it was constantly on his mind. I just felt deleted. I felt defeated by the whole situation and agreed to the paternity test. Although I told him that when the test came back telling Sophia was his daughter, I wanted nothing to do with mother-in-law, and we would have to start couple counseling if there was any hope at all for this relationship to be saved. Fast forward to now, the test came back a week ago, and surprise, surprise, she is his daughter. He had this look of relief before the guilt and panic hit him, and he started to apologize to me over and over again. I told him he needed to tell his mother and then tell her we needed a break from her. Surprisingly, he was all for it, and I could hear him yelling at her for making him doubt me and telling her we didn't want any contact for a while. Mark blocked her number after hanging up, so she started to call me and text me. It switched from that she was sorry and that I was horrible for not seeing it from her point of view and taking away her family. Okay. I blocked her too, but some of his extended family has messaged both Mark and me calling us cold-hearted for cutting mother-in-law out of the way we have, or out the way that we have. I've started to doubt my decision, thinking I was too harsh after being hurt. Maybe I made a mistake by distancing ourselves from mother-in-law. After all, she was just looking out for her only son.
Wow.
Not the asshole.
No, that is why is everyone so fucking mean? Like, what the fuck?
What is this obsession with what kids look like?
I come the fuck on.
And like,
wow.
There is an edit actually.
What do we got?
I am so overwhelmed by all the support. Thank you to everyone who took the time to answer. I see a lot of you guys are coming for my husband, and trust me, I get it. I failed to mention that his last long-term relationship ended because his ex cheated on him. His mother also divorced his family, his mother also divorced his father due to infidelity. That doesn't make it okay, but that's the reason I didn't hand him divorce papers. Yeah, right? That's a...
Whoa.
The second he asked for a paternity test, I know that he has a lot of trust issues, and so does his mother. He has been in therapy before because of these issues and has contacted his psychiatrist and is going to start therapy again. We're going to our first couple counseling later this week.
Good.
So,
wow.
You know, something else that blows my mind about this actually too is so the baby's only 3 months old. Do you know how different babies look like from when they first come out to like as they grow?
Every couple days they change.
Yeah,
they look like aliens when they're first born.
It blows my mind because like we have like newborn pictures of Crew, and it's like uncanny. Like he looks so different. It's crazy. Like he doesn't even look like the same baby.
Mm-hmm.
And so who knows? Maybe that baby looks like mom right now. Maybe in 6 months that baby's all of a sudden gonna have dad's nose.
Yep.
How are you know? You gotta let it grow.
Let it grow, let it grow.
Literally though. And I'm opening Google Workspace. It really sucks that like his mom got into his head that bad about that.
That bad, yeah.
There's like literal generational trauma around infidelity. I mean, I got to watch it growing up too, realistically. Not between my parents. Everything was fine between my parents, but I watched my grandparents get divorced because my grandpa was cheating on my grandma with her best friend, so.
Drama.
Everybody's got a little.
Just a smidgen.
Honestly, though, it's great because people don't realize how easy it is to get traumatized. Like, you can be traumatized. Your brain picks up on really dumb stuff sometimes. I have a problem with balloons because I popped one and it hurt when I was a small child, and now it's like an actual legitimate problem I have. Yeah. So, and like...
It could be anything.
I was at a birthday party having a grand old time, and then all of a sudden it wasn't fun anymore. So, like...
Until what?
But then there's other things that can happen. I remember, you know those those things at parks that you can sit on. They're like on a spring and you just kind of
Yes.
go around on them.
My gosh. Pinch your leg on it.
So when I was a kid, when my parents were playing baseball, we were at like some field. I feel like it was the one in like on the way to your house, wherever that is, by Castles, right there.
Oh yeah.
I feel like it was there, but there was a little park, and I was on one of those things, and I started, shaking it around, and it was inside of it was a beehive, like a
Oh my
full
gosh.
beehive, and I remember getting stung like a lot, but that wasn't traumatic to me. But popping a balloon was. So like my brain was like, "That's the one.
That's the one.
Let's take it. Let's keep
Sold.
her." It's gotten a lot better, but I feel like I also just haven't been around a balloon that's popped in a very long time. So hard to say if it's better or like it's just because I haven't been fully exposed. But I've gone to multiple birthday parties with balloons. So my nephew is I feel like anytime there's anything with balloons, it's like I'm the one who's got to take care of it. He's like, "Aren't you broken? Can you get my balloon?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm terrified of it, but I'll get it." Or one time when we took him to the children's museum, he like stared two balloons out of this guy's hands basically until the guy was just like, "It's okay, you can have them both." And then it was like, "Great, I'm so excited I get to chase you around
with two of them." Ay.
Fucking kids. That's one of those things. I'm usually selfish when it comes to balloons. Don't want to be around them. But when all those kids, it looks selfish. Like I'm holding them.
I got you.
Yeah. You need me to hold it? Sure. Like,
I got this. Just for you, kid. That's it.
Oh, God. I don't remember this one, but the title is wild. This is am I overreacting? This is a question, technically, like just in case I don't say it like that. My boyfriend and his mother have an incestuous relationship. I'm gonna unpack it real quick, I guess. I'm wondering, like, do they know the word they're using? Like,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, right? Let's go. Long. My boyfriend, 23 male, and I, 22 female, have been dating for 6 months now. We were friends for 3 years before dating. I am also pregnant. He has been an absolutely amazing boyfriend, but I am noticing weird things with his mother that are really creeping me out and making me question this relationship and this pregnancy. I have been pretty much living with my boyfriend under his mother's roof for about 4 months now. Ooh. I sleep here every single night. She is a single mother and in her 60s. My boyfriend's dad is remarried, and he has told me that since the divorce, his mom has been depressed and never quite the same. They divorced when he was quite young, maybe around 7 years old. She still cries to this day about the divorce and infidelity, as well as his father remarrying, and I don't think she has ever truly gotten over him. She does not date and hasn't since the divorce. My boyfriend had told me multiple times in arguments with his mother that she'll constantly compare him to his father and say things like, "You're just like your father. You don't care about me." Also want to note that my boyfriend looks exactly like his father. I noticed pretty early on that it seems like she takes out her feelings about her ex-husband out on my boyfriend. When we first started dating, he said that his mother is jealous and she's not spending as much time with him anymore, and she's been like that with all of his exes. I noticed she doesn't take much of an effort to talk to me. She's a bit awkward when she is home, and she's pretty much just stays locked in her room. He says she likes me, and she is always kind when she talks to me, but for some reason, my intuition is strongly telling me otherwise. There have been multiple times where we pick up food, and he asks her if she wants anything, and she says no, When we come back with food, she'll send him texts or say to him personally that we only care about ourselves and not her. I noticed these red flags early on, but brushed it off. Here's where things get really weird and twisted. I don't want to believe that this is what's going on, and I feel crazy for even having these thoughts, but it's hard to find another explanation about things with what I have heard. One Saturday morning, everything was going normal. My boyfriend and I woke up together, did our morning routines, and decided to play a couple games on the PS5 together, as we normally do on the weekends. I was feeling tired as I am pregnant, and the hormones have been making me super exhausted, so after a couple games, I decided to take a little nap. He turned off the PS5 and put a YouTube video on the TV kind of loud. He said he would make me breakfast while I napped, so I dozed off and he left the room. It sounded like he went straight to his mother's room and shut the door. Her door is creaky, and I hear it every time it opens as it's right next to his room. He often goes into his mother's room and talks to her for a while, so I paid this no mind and continued to rest. I'm a very heavy sleeper, by the way. Not sure how much time passed, but when I woke up, the sound of banging on the wall was very loud. I then heard the door open and him say, "Oh, so you," and I didn't hear the rest, but it almost sounded like, "Oh, so you want to be bad, huh?" Or something along those lines, and the loud banging continued, now sounding like it was in the hallway right outside the door. I heard mumbling that literally sounded like the way he talks to me when we have sex. I sat up in bed confused and listened for a couple more minutes. I could have sworn I heard her gasp or something. At this point, I was getting freaked out because it literally sounded like sex noises. I got up and sat in front of the TV, which is next to the door, and put it on mute. Right after I did that, the banging stopped, almost as if they heard me awake and stopped doing whatever they were doing. I then heard shuffling and his mother say, "Lie," and he said, "Yes, ma'am."
What the fuck?
I heard him go downstairs for a few minutes, and then he came back to the room with a bowl of cereal. Mind you, when he usually makes me breakfast, it's pancakes, bacon, eggs, and hash browns. I straight up asked him what was all the noise, and he looked super nervous and said I was arguing with my mom. I asked about what, and he was stuttering nonsense and said he was arguing about a Christmas present. I thought this made no sense. I asked him if the argument got physical because I was hearing loud noises, and he said no. I was pressing him, asking what could have been, and he was moving furniture or something. It was very loud.
Furniture? Oh my god.
He began pacing around the room nervously and said quietly, "I'm filled with regret."
What the fuck?
After like an hour of pressing him about it and telling me it was just an argument, he didn't know what noise I was talking about, etc. I dropped it because I literally thought I was going insane. I know what it sounded like, but I didn't want to believe that it was something so twisted was going on. And the fact that they were doing it while I am in the next room, sleeping and pregnant. I was literally uncontrollably shaking, extremely disturbed at what I just heard. It was clear as day that that's what it was, but I genuinely thought I was maybe losing it. Later that night, I brought it up again and implied I think something was going on, or maybe the argument got physical and he shouldn't be afraid to tell me. He then was like, "Want me to ask my mom if we were hitting each other?" He then goes to his mom's room and asks her if anything went on and was telling her how I think they got into a physical fight. He comes back to me and tells me that his mother said that it's just pregnancy hormones and I'm overthinking, and she's proceeded to text him, "We don't live like that," which he showed me.
What?
I took a day to think about it and came to the conclusion that I am not crazy. I know what I heard. I started thinking back on if I ever heard weird things or felt weird vibes concerning his mother, and it turns out there were a couple things I overheard in the past that made me look at them sideways. Some examples. Oh, there's a lot of examples. 1. I heard him walking up the stairs behind her and say, "I can still feel around," and she laughed. Woof. Oh, I wonder if they just get worse. Okay, number 2. I once heard the sound of clapping coming from her room when he was in there talking. 3. Heard them in the kitchen, semi-arguing, and him saying to her, "I'm trying my best. How can I be better for you?" As if they're in a relationship or something. 4, he once told me that as a child, the doctor thought his mother was molesting him because he saw her hair wrapped around my boyfriend's penis. Okay. 5, now that I think about what I think, I have heard banging or weird noises before when they are talking for long periods of time, whether it be in her room or downstairs in the living room and kitchen. 6, all day, every day, his mother is constantly texting him, bothering him about coming home, seeing what he's doing, etc. 7, one day he said he was going to make breakfast for me a separate time from the one mentioned above, and I fell back asleep. His mom was also home in her room. I woke up to him coming back into the room, freshly showered, with only a towel around his waist with no breakfast for me. This is unusual because usually when he says he's going to make me breakfast, he goes to make it right away and wakes me up with it. He also never showers at this time of day. After hearing the weird stuff I have now heard, it makes me wonder if he was in his mother's room. I once heard his mother go downstairs while he was in the kitchen and he thought I was sleeping. I then heard him say, "Come on, Mom," and her laughing and walking away. He kept calling her to come back and she goes, "Not tonight, baby." Could he have been asking her for sex? It has now been a couple weeks since the incident where I heard the loud banging. It has been running through my mind every single day. His mother already gave me uncomfortable and off-putting vibes since the beginning, but now I feel very paranoid and creeped out about their relationship. I have since pressed him about it again and pretty much told him that what I heard sounded very weird and like something sexual was going on. We argued about it for like 2 days straight. He insists that him and his mother do not have a weird relationship, and him and his mother have no idea what loud noises I was hearing. How can they have possibly not heard something so loud, especially when the noises were coming from where I heard both of their voices? He has tried to explain it in every way possible, but nothing makes sense. He said it could have been the dog, neighbors, footsteps, but I've been living here for 4 months now, and I know what all those noises sound like. This is absolutely none of those things. I wish I had opened the door to get physical proof, but now, because it just feels like I am being lied to. I have been doubting myself, thinking how could this actually be possible, but when I think back to what I heard, it was so clear. I am slowly putting the pieces together, and I don't know what to do. Today, I feel like I have reached my breaking point. I don't know if I'm being paranoid now, but something that happened today made me overthink the situation even more. We were hanging out as normal. I noticed him and his mother texting back and forth a bunch. He then went downstairs to make me soup, and as I was feeling nauseous. I thought I heard her door quietly open and close, which is weird because usually she swings it open loudly and I hear the creak. She also has super loud footsteps, so I didn't hear her, so I figured it was just my boyfriend cleaning and making food. The soup only takes 5 minutes to make. It is a packaged soup. He was downstairs for about 30 to 40 minutes. He comes back upstairs with my soup, and then I hear his mother loudly coming upstairs. So I was right. I did hear her door open, as if she was sneaking downstairs so that I would not hear. I asked him what took so long, and he nervously was saying a bunch of things that didn't make sense. He made no mention of his mother being downstairs, and then I asked if he was talking to someone, and he nervously said, "Yeah, my mom." He then accused me of being paranoid about his mom and that I think I'm hearing things. I made no mention of his mom or hearing things, even though I did hear banging. So does this mean he knows something? He knows he was being loud and I could have heard it? It seemed like projection and him feeling guilty about something he's doing with his mother. At this point, I do not trust him being around his mother, and I am disturbed and drained. I am horrified and I don't know what to do. I know all this sounds crazy and outlandish, but my gut is telling me something is wrong. There's no mistake at what I heard that day. Am I being crazy, or should I trust my gut with what I know I heard? I feel like the signs and things I have heard now are so blatantly obvious, and I cannot ignore it anymore or try to explain it away. It genuinely seems as if something incestuous is going on with my boyfriend and his mother. I have always said I do not want to be a single mother or raise a child in a broken home, and now I am 3 months pregnant. I also am in fear that if he does have a sick and twisted relationship with his mother, who's to say he wouldn't try to do the same with our child? I'm seriously considering terminating the pregnancy and breaking up with him. What should I do? And does it sound like I am overreacting, or should I trust my gut?
God. Trust your gut, fucking run. Oh my God. Oh. What? Oh.
So he already mentioned that like other exes like left because of his mom. And so let's just say they are not having sex at all. Like there's nothing like that happening. Let's just say that there's nothing physical happening. This is still fucked up.
That's still a toxic ass relationship.
This is like enmeshment. That's when they're like basically in like a relationship together.
Yeah.
And then like, I mean, it does sound like they're having sex, but if
and even
they are
on
not,
just like a weird emotional level, even that's still fucking
like,
gross. That's so fucked.
The amount of how much they're having conversations, like constantly talking 24/7, like almost like he needs approval to do anything from her because he just needs her approval for whatever reason, and she's got to make sure that she's okay with all these things. I'm really, really grossed out by the idea. I mean, the whole incest thing is fucking disgusting in general. But what really, really fucks me up about it is like she mentioned that he looks like his dad.
Yes. Ugh. And she won't date anyone who never done anything. Oh my god.
Ugh. She's, ugh. At least she can't get pregnant because she's 60.
Oh my god.
That was wild.
Yeah.
And she's only 22 and she's pregnant with his kid. I would be concerned too. I would be very concerned about how he's going to treat his own child if that's how he grew up. Because
learned behavior and generational growth.
Also, though, the doctor was thinking that he was being molested.
Yep. Because they found her hair
talk to the
wrapped around.
Which, okay, I'm just trying to. How do you not notice that that's on your kid? Like, if your hair is wrapped around their shit, how do you not notice that your hair is wrapped around there?
Yeah,
because you're changing their diaper, you know? Because the doctor saw the hair around it. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like finding hair inside of a diaper doesn't seem that crazy to me because your hair falls out all the time. So that doesn't seem that crazy to me. But I'd be curious to see like if the dad thinks that they had a weird relationship before. Well,
it all started when they got divorced.
Well, he was 7. Oh, okay. So it could have happened after he left, and then he wouldn't have any idea. For some reason, I was thinking they got divorced when he was 17. So I was like, but it was 7, not 17. Because if it was at 17, then I mean, at least it wasn't happening like when he was like a young child. But we really don't fucking know if he was 7.
Ugh.
And then, like, what? Like, were you looking at your kid? Like, looks like dad. Like,
Yeah, like this one, like literally making me sick.
Yeah, that was rough. I think regardless, whatever is happening, you just need to leave.
Yeah, fucking run.
Yeah, this is. Something fucking weird is happening, and it's trust your gut, like for real.
Yeah,
waking up out of a nap and hearing clapping. Like, shut up.
Here's your breakfast. I worked so hard on a bowl of fucking cereal.
Can you imagine too? Like normally your boyfriend makes you pancakes, bacon, and eggs, and all of a sudden you get a fucking bowl of Lucky Charms.
Be gone for 40 minutes to make
I would be like,
cold cereal.
Are we seriously? This is what we're having for dinner? Like, it's like every once in a while we get like those, like the quick, like pre-made meals or whatever, where you just like pop them in the microwave or the oven for a while. Yeah. And I mean, I don't have a problem with it, but at the same time, like, it kind of makes me laugh because when I look at it, I think obviously he had a lazy day because I don't cook dinner. So, and he's a very good cook. So if we have something that's like TV dinner, it's like, must be busy.
Wasn't feeling it today.
Must have a project or something. He went to make his sandwiches the other night and then realized that like the sandwich that he was making is like chicken, mozzarella cheese, and tomato with like balsamic vinegar glaze. And we have them quite frequently. Like it's one of our, we just really like the sandwich, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But he went to go make them for dinner, like not last night, but the night before, and then realized we didn't have any fucking tomatoes. And I was like, I'm not having a mozzarella cheese and chicken sandwich. Like we got to do something else. So I think that we ended up doing grilled cheese. Yeah, we did grilled cheese and tomato soup. And the grilled cheese, the bread was toasted because he was toasting the bread for the sandwiches. And then it was like, dang, not doing those.
Really did.
Yeah, definitely run. That was fucking wild.
Yeah. Ugh. My stomach turned.
Yeah. I mean, I get being close to your parents, but not like that.
Fucking close.
No. You are not to be in a relationship with a parent. That's weird. I would also maybe say not your parents' friends, because that's fucking weird. Especially if they've been around. Okay. Go to the next one. Am I the asshole for losing my shit and screaming at my girlfriend to get out of my house after what her stepbrother did? Sounds kind of rude.
What did your stepbrother living in your house? Why is your girlfriend's stepbrother living in your house?
So, okay. Girlfriend was over at my place 2 days ago. We're both 20. She has a stepbrother who's 23. And before this, I'd only met him a few times, and he seemed like a regular dude. She asked if it was okay for him to come over for a couple hours, and I said, why not? He said he would get booze and pizza, and my parents were away visiting relatives for the weekend, so I figured we could shoot the shit. I have a little sister who's 15. They came over, and she stayed up in her room the entire time. We were all a bit tipsy, and my girlfriend's stepbrother asked if he could use the washroom. I pointed him to the one down the hall. My girlfriend and I were preoccupied and didn't even realize how much time he was taking until we heard raised voices upstairs.
Oh, no.
We immediately went up to check what was going on and found my sister crying. June had gone up instead of using the washroom. My sister's door had been ajar, so he apparently walked into her room. All details I managed to wrangle from my crying sister, by the way. She was taken by shock and was trying to stay calm, but he wasn't leaving. He was trying to chat her up. She told him to get the fuck out, and he closed the door behind him instead, which is why she started freaking out.
Oh.
She tried to get past him to open the door, and he grabbed her, but she managed to open it anyways. I reached the landing by then, so he backed off. Obviously, I was super fucking pissed. There was a lot of screaming going on, lots of accusations. We were all drunk except for my sister. After getting the story from her, girlfriend's stepbrother was stuttering and deflecting. I'm pretty sure I threatened violence at some point. My girlfriend was trying to be the mediator, said that I had to calm down and couldn't fly off the handle based off of word of mouth. But I was there. I saw my sister crying in panic. I know what she's like, and I know that she wouldn't lie about something like this. Why would she? I told her stepbrother to get out of my house. My girlfriend kept saying we should sort this out and have a proper conversation, but I didn't see what conversation there was to be had. Eventually, she said, what if my sister was lying? In front of my sister's face. I asked her what on earth would make her think that, and she said she's a kid, so she could be making it up for attention. Like the title said, I lost my shit. I told her to get the fuck out, and afterwards she kept calling me, but I ignored everything. The dust has settled a bit. I went over everything again with my little sister, and she promised me it happened the way she was telling me. She told me she was scared he was going to SA her. My girlfriend texted me this morning saying I shouldn't have raised my voice like that, and I scared her. I thought of apologizing, but then she hadn't said a word about apologizing to my sister or addressing the issue with her stepbrother. I only replied that we had to talk, and she said there's nothing to talk about. There's no hard proof in her words. And the stepbrother ended up doing nothing, so she told me she would deal with him and I should drop it. I don't know if I'm the asshole for the way I handled this, but maybe if cooler heads prevailed, this silent treatment wouldn't have happened and we could have discussed everything. I don't know what to do from now on either. I love that girl, but I don't want us to be over. So I want some advice on where to go from here. That sucks that you love her because you need to not be with her.
Yeah, because that's fucked. You're protecting your predator ass fucking
The audacity to say,
brother.
I think your sister's lying. While she's right fucking there.
Sick.
As if she already
Victim
wasn't
blame, like
right. As if she already wasn't traumatized enough because an adult man just barged into her room and shut the door behind him.
Yeah, he's lucky he's not in fucking jail. Oh my god, what is people sick motherfuckers?
I think that the response that happened was exactly what needed to happen because that poor kid got traumatized. But the good news is that her brother was there and able to stop anything from happening because we don't know what would have happened. And was able to not only like make sure nothing happened, but then swiftly was like, get out of the house. Like, you guys both need to get out. Like, if you're gonna, one, because of what you did or tried to do, you can get out. And then two, you're immediately defending him, you can get out too. And that is going to be, I mean, she's going to remember the whole thing for the rest of her life probably, but like that is going to stand out much stronger, I think, than what her fears could have. Who knows what the fuck could have happened? Like, what the fuck?
And then to feel like she wasn't even protected. Oh my god. Oh my god. Sucks.
There's an update. You can shut the fuck up. There'll be security downstairs.
Well, to head of security.
We got some shit to do.
Better hear this update.
Yeah. First off, thanks to everyone who commented on my previous post. I tried to read as many comments as I could, and I got some great advice. My girlfriend asked me yesterday if we could talk in person. I agreed. We met at a public park. She showed up already on the verge of tears. Someone, Butter Crumpet, their comment was goated. I basically said it word for word to her. I guess we should have found that comment. Should have said it still. She let me speak and was silent for a long time. Before she said she was sorry for the way she had reacted. She told me she had been drunk and panicked and hadn't been thinking clearly and was trying to stop it from becoming a fight. We discussed her stepbrother. She told me he has a weird streak and acts oddly sometimes. She told me he genuinely could have made a mistake and didn't mean any harm. I asked why he'd gone upstairs in the first place and why he'd shut himself in with my sister on finding out that he was in the wrong room. No answer. I asked how she was so sure that he had no perverted intentions. No answer. Some of you suggested that the stepbrother might have had a history and even might have done something to her. I didn't outright say it, but I was implying it. I kept saying, what if he had gone further? What if he's assaulted someone before and you don't know about it, etc.? I asked if there had been incidences like this before, and how could she possibly downplay what happened? She didn't have anything to say, but again, at that point, she was too choked up to speak properly, so I don't think she could have answered even if she wanted to. Anyways, I wasn't there to listen to excuses or justifications, and I told her that. She asked me if we were over, and I said the only way we could move forward is if she apologized to my little sister, and then stopped all contact with her stepbrother. I just don't see a scenario where my sister feels comfortable around him again. She told me she didn't want to lose me, but she couldn't do what I asked from her, so I told her, yes, we're done. My parents came back this morning, by the way. Like I said, they had been out of town at a relative's place. I hadn't told them about this over the phone. I just said an incident had happened and that I would explain when they got back. My sister asked me to speak to them on her behalf, and I told them everything. My dad gave me a lot of shit, rightfully so. He says he wants to speak to my ex's parents about this, let them know what their son did. Police here are about as useful as tits on a bull. But we discussed it, and we're going to file a report.
Good.
I highly doubt it will go anywhere, but at least it will be a record in the system. My sister is doing better. She was really shaken up. She asked if she could sleep in my parents' room or mine for a bit. We'll probably arrange a therapy or counseling session for her and let her decide if she wants to continue. I'm going to take her bowling and then we'll get some food. Just the two of us so that I can also apologize on my part. I feel upset. I feel guilty, actually. I trusted my ex, and me being naive put my little sister in danger. I've always thought I was a responsible person, and this happening when I was supposed to be in charge is fucking me up. I'm pissed at myself, I'm not gonna lie, but we move. My favorite comments to be read were the ones telling me what to do to the stepbrother. I don't ever want to see his face again, but in case I do, someone let me know if you have a wood chipper lying around. Thanks again, everybody.
Holy fuck. Good. Thank God they reported it and shit. Wow.
This is, here's the comment from Butter Crumpet.
The goat.
They put it on there for us. So it says, hey GF, this isn't about you or your feelings. Your adult drunk stepbrother went into the bedroom of my underage teenage sister, shut the door behind him, and would not leave. The best thing that I could do was make him leave. Rather than being appalled and apologetic, you had the audacity to question whether my sister was being honest in front of her, at which point I lost my temper. How could you accuse her of that whilst seeing how upset she was? Even if you had doubts, that wasn't even vaguely the time or place. Since this happened, the only person you've cared about is yourself. You want an apology for my being angry and shouting, but not once have you apologized or asked about my sister. Again, this isn't about you, and I don't think this is going to work out since I want to protect my underage sister, and you want to protect your feelings and your potential predator of a stepbrother. I am sorry I raised my voice at you. Yes, but if ever a situation warranted it, it was then. And no, you've never seen me like this because I've never been in a position where a grown man shut himself in my sister's bedroom and made her afraid that she was going to be SA'd. Now we're done and there's nothing left to say. And that was
perfect.
Like, yeah, they said this is what I would send to her. She's a shitbag, and I bet he's done this shit before.
Wow. Oh, glad he handled it well.
Yeah.
Wow.
I do feel like it could be possible that he also did these things to her. And like she got so choked up about it because
maybe she was
well, yeah, so maybe she experienced the same exact situation and her parents were like, it's fine.
Normalized it.
Yeah, right.
Was okay.
And then all of a sudden now it's okay for everyone to do it.
Fuck you shitty moms.
Man.
What the fuck?
We had some long ones today. I feel like we didn't really read that many.
Oh, yeah, it was a couple long ones. Oh, my gosh.
Holy fuck on a stick. Man,
traumatized on this.
And you know, so I do truly feel like they shouldn't feel guilty because I don't necessarily think it was a situation where they were naive. They invited their girlfriend, who they trust, over, and you would think that you could trust their sibling, step-sibling, whatever. At least they're doing it enough that they're letting them come over. You know, like, you know what I mean? Like, the girlfriend is saying, oh, can my brother come with me? Like, I feel like if I'm dating someone, I would hope that I can trust their judgment of their own sibling in order for them to come over to my house. And I just feel like they shouldn't feel guilty because they had these people come over and this situation almost happened.
Yeah.
It's not like you were like, yeah, your brother might essay my sister, but yeah, invite him over.
Yeah.
Like,
it might happen, but
you didn't really think an adult man was going to barge into your little sister's room, because why would you suspect that to happen? And yeah,
sick motherfuckers.
Yeah, that poor kid.
Man,
because she's gonna get in therapy though, because she's gonna need it. Fucking A.
Oof.
What a ride.
Yeah.
What a ride today has been.
Whew.
Man. Well, thanks for coming back to Ask the Conch.
It was a good ride.
Yeah, it was a good ride. Well, some of it was a good ride. Some of it was
it was just a ride.
Gross ride. Yeah.
It was just.
Ooh.
Hey.
Anyways. Bye.